Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Amy, your independent Scentsy consultant with Happily Scented Life. And I'm back today just to do a quick chit chat video, kind of going over my thoughts as SFR has concluded and I've had time to kind of sit with the information a little bit and kind of get everything sorted. Because let me tell you, with 3 days of just massive information just thrown at you left and right, it does take a while to process everything. And even after SFR concluded, there was still information being dropped. Like when they dropped the Harvest Collection article finally on the workstation, it was then announced that Zombie Punch was also another fragrance that was going to be included in the Harvest Collection, not just in body, but as a bar as well. That info wasn't dropped during SFR. Then there was another, there's other things that came out later. So that's why I always try to wait. I don't try to rush out the information because stuff like that is always changing. New things added to a certain thing. So it's Saturday morning. So SFR started Tuesday. So that's why my videos are a little bit late getting out. So yeah. So honestly, there's only like 4 major topics that I want to include in this video. I've talked a little bit about like the smaller things, like the fragrances leaving and why Scentsy is choosing to put these fragrances in the catalog versus what they normally do, and the trends that I'm seeing with like the fragrances that are coming out, like the scent descriptions and all of that. I talked about that in the what's new, what's returning, what's bye-bye video that I posted this morning. So I won't go over that. And I created another video last night that will probably be going up tomorrow, of walking through the catalog. So I kind of went over some of like the rebranding questions and topics that came out and my thoughts on that. So that's in that video. And then this is like the final one, right? So I do want to talk about the printed material because I feel like that is still coming up quite fresh on Facebook and in the YouTube community, that people are still talking about the printed material. So Scentsy has decided to basically get rid of as much printed material as possible because they did have a lot. They had printed brochures for fall and for holiday. They had printed brochures for the scent of the months. They had showcase brochures, product lists, discontinued lists, full-on catalogs that were 50 plus pages. So they had a lot of printed material, and probably, I don't know about any of you, but those one sheet product sheets, the big like calendar looking ones, I always chuck those because I never finished them up. I never had that many customers to hand it to. So I'd always chuck it. So they probably were sitting on a lot of unused paper, and it probably didn't make sense anymore to keep that around. So they did decide, starting in August, that the Scent of the Month kit would no longer contain printed brochures. So you would have to use the provided Scentsy Canva templates to basically print out your own to send to your customers, or you could create your own if you're creative like that and do it that way. They also decided to, instead of having like a 40 to 50 plus catalog where it contained everything that would be available for the next 6 months, they have a much condensed version. It's like 16 pages. It's very clean, very minimal, only shows the new warmers, the new, all the fragrances, a little bit of the cleaning, body, and laundry lines, some of the bundle and saves, and then that's pretty much it. Everything else, you're directed to go to your consultant's website to check out everything else. So we're not going to have printed catalogs. They are still going to have a printed catalog, but it's that condensed one. And right now, as consultants, we can't even buy it yet. We have to wait until the 15th of August to purchase them. So that kind of makes me feel like they don't even have them printed off yet, or at least not now. Did anybody who attend SFR, did you actually get a catalog? I don't remember seeing anybody like showing it like in pictures and stuff like that. But it is available now as a PDF. A lot of stuff's going to be digital PDFs that you're going to have to download. So as consultants, this is really not going to affect customers, but consultants are really going to have to decide whether they want to put the money and time that it takes to print stuff. And let me tell you, it's not cheap, and it's not a quick thing. I literally did up Happy Mail for anybody that ordered from me from June and July. I didn't send out any Happy Mail last month for my June customers who ordered. I kind of just, life got ahead of me. So I am doing anybody that ordered in June and July. So I am lucky where I have my own printer at work, and I don't share it with anybody else. I have a certain amount of money in my contract that I'm allowed to use for printing and ink, for marketing and things like that. So I am lucky where I can use my work printer for that. And it's not something that they, frown upon, which is great. So I do have the opportunity to print this stuff off at work. But if I was to print it off on my own, especially colored stuff, that ain't cheap. An ink cartridge is anywhere from like $30 to like $47 at Walmart, depending on the brand and if you're going to get black or if you're going to get colored ink. And then as a consultant, you also have to figure, okay, how clear do I want the pictures? Do I, want to include pictures? Because that's going to waste more ink. And I noticed that the templates that they showed are heavily, like, it's like a huge picture. Like, what? I'll show you because it's in here. So do you see how this whole thing is colored ink? That is going to sap up your ink so fast, right? It's actually upside down, but I don't care. People can just flip it over. It's fine. So yeah, so it's going to take a lot of money in time to print this crap off if you don't have an outlet to do it yourself. So like just doing this packet, which is basically the fall fragrance grid, I just printed it and folded it in half. I printed off the template that they gave us for the July warmer and scent of the month. I did the same one for August. I made my own, I offer coupons, and then I did this wrap card for the summer collection because it is still available for August. So just doing 25 of these, you guys, cutting, putting the scented sticker on, folding it. This was 2 hours just to do 25. 2 hours just to do 25. And I also do write out my own thank you cards too. So that took probably 15 minutes. I only had 10 that I had to write out because I had some that were already pre-filled in. I was trying to think of the word. But yeah, so that's 2 hours. Who has that time? I only had the time because my mom has 2 of my kids right now, and I've got the one that's the most independent at home right now. So I had the time to do it, so I did it, but not everybody has that time. Not everybody has those resources. So it's definitely going to put a hinder on what people are doing, and I don't think it's right. I think they should still be doing the brochures in the Scent of the Month kit. I understand the condensed catalog, and that's fine, whatever. But I do feel like the Scent of the Month kits should have the brochures. You're paying all that money to get the kit, so why wouldn't you include the marketing material? That's just my opinion. So yeah, so basically you're not going to be seeing a lot of those printed materials anymore that we're used to seeing in the consultant store. A lot of things are going to be homemade, things like that. So yeah, and I don't like the whole pricing not in the catalog either, because then that's just gonna, people are going to feel like they're bugging their consultants because they're constantly asking questions. Well, how much is this? How much is that? And, I don't want to keep directing people to my website. It sounds so impersonal. Oh, just check my website. I hate doing that. And I have a lot of customers that are older and like the catalog. So they like, circling things and knowing ahead of time and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of us not knowing the pricing ahead of time is going to put a damper on us planning out purchases. because I do that. That's why I don't care about sneaking stuff. I sneak a lot of stuff a lot earlier than other consultants, but that's just me. Some consultants wait until the day of the launch. Other consultants wait until the day before. Some, like myself, will literally drop it at the end of the month when we find out during the live. I do that because I'm like my customers. I like to save. I like to prepare. I like to know where my dollars are going to go. And if my hobby is wax and home fragrance, then I want to make sure that I'm not overwhelming myself and that I get the things that I want to get and plan it out. And I feel like knowing what pricing is ahead of time helps me do that. It's gonna be a rocky road, guys, but we're here. We're gonna support each other. We're gonna share tips and tricks to save and all of that stuff. Okay, second concept, the rebrand. I get what they're trying to do because they've dropped nuggets in the end of month lives for several months now about Gen Z generation, younger generations, reaching a whole new market. So they're literally branding it to what they feel those younger people are. And it's clean, minimal, aesthetic, stuff like that. So I get it. But the brand, it's like the font and stuff that they chose, it just doesn't feel Scentsy. It doesn't feel fun. All the colors are like muted. It's almost like you just took all the happy out of Scentsy. And it's just like this drained, like, version of itself. It's basically Scentsy on Prozac. Like, it's just this monotone zombie walking thing. It really is. And it's got like this weird, they showed it on a couple of different things where it's doing like a monogram of the word S, and it's got like fancy filigree and like, kind of like old Victorian, like almost like vibes. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about it yet, guys. I'm not like ecstatic over it. I'm not mad. I'm just kind of like, why? like I said, it's all muted. It's all just like bare bones. It's not fun. It's not fun looking. But they're trying to reach this other audience. Leading into the third concept. Scentsy, after 21 years, is going to start selling candles. Yeah, you heard me right. Candles. The one thing that has been their best marketing tool in the beginning, that was what got them popular and what drove the momentum, and what all of these consultants have been preaching and promoting. We are the wickless candle fragrance. We're the safe way to have home fragrance. Don't have to worry about soot. Don't have to worry about open flames. It's safe. You can't burn yourself. The warmers don't get hot where you can't touch it and not burn. You stick your hand in the wax. It doesn't burn. It's safe around pets, safe around kids. And now we're just like, okay, well, forget everything that we said, and here's a candle, and we're going to sell it. Because supposedly their idea is that they want to be the world's leading fragrance company. So if they can't be the world's leading fragrance company if they don't offer all the fragrant things. And candles is a big portion of the home fragrance market. So Scentsy really can't try to be the top dog if they don't offer candles. And they're saying that Gen Z warms candles. My daughter's Gen Z, and I have a lot of friends that have kids that are in the Gen Z, that are early 20s, in high school, in middle school. Not a single one of them burn candles. So I don't know where Scentsy is getting this information from. I really don't. If they burn a candle, I don't think it's to fragrance their home as much as it was for us in the early stages of Scentsy. It's more of an ambiance thing for them. Like, because they got this whole aesthetic where they're like, you know, they're trying to make like their lives and their homes and their rooms like ambiance and aesthetic, because they're all TikTok influencers. That's all what they aspire to be, right? So I just don't know how true that is. I just think that they're seeing a market that they haven't tapped into that potentially could get them enough money to offset the red that they're currently in because of all the stuff that they've been doing, you know, the past 21 years. That's, I think, is more of their motive than blaming it on, oh, we need to attract this younger market and Gen Z is burning candles, so therefore we have to sell candles so we can get them to buy Scentsy and then see the other Scentsy products and potentially order those. And we need to be able to have a variety of different fragrance products to attract more of a customer base, because we're not going to sell to candle people if we only have wax melts. Now, they haven't dropped much info on the candles. We know it's a soy blend. It's like in this glass frosted jar with the monogram S on it. We don't know what fragrances it's going to be offered in. I think everyone at SFR got one for the giveaways. So if any of you got one, let us know what that scent was. I don't remember if I saw anybody post what scent it was. We're supposed to get some candles in the holiday collection. I'm guessing that Very Snowy Spruce is going to be one of them. Christmas Cottage. Oh, what else? What else? I don't think they would actually make them in the holiday fragrances. I think they would just make them in like tried and true Scentsy winter fragrances, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's what they're trying to do with the whole candle thing. But they still haven't given us all the information yet. We know the catalog candle is not going to be available until September 1st. But even when you go on the website, there's really no info on it yet. No pricing. Here's my thing. I don't think the candle is going to sell well. I think they're going to have a nice college try with it, but it's not going to go in the direction that they're hoping. Because I don't think they're going to be able to make their candle affordable in comparison to probably their biggest competitors when it comes to candle companies. You've got Yankee, Bath and Body Works, Goose Creek, and Kringle. Those are the four that are the most talked about on YouTube, on social media, that I feel are Scentsy's biggest competitors when it comes to candles. They are never going to be able to match Bath and Body Works and Goose Creek sale prices. There's no way. There is no way Scentsy is going to offer their candle at $5.95. There's no way they're going to offer their candles buy one, get one free, or buy one, get two free. There's no way. There's no way they're going to be able to match that. So I don't even think Bath and Body Works has any, they should not have any worry. Goose Creek shouldn't have any worry. Yankee Candle is a staple. Yankee Candle has been around for a long time. People do spend the money on Yankee Candle. Yankee Candle isn't as popular as the other two because Bath and Body Works is still in some malls, if your town even has a mall still. But the online store is super popular for both Bath and Body Works and Goose Creek. Now, Yankee Candle, you can get that, even Goose Creek too, in some of the major big box stores like Walmart, Target, things like that. So people are still buying them, and they still have no problem paying like $20+ for like the big jar of Yankee Candle, right? But Yankee Candle is Yankee Candle. I mean, people who like Yankee Candle, they like Yankee Candle, and that's it. And they have their scents that are their favorites, and they don't deviate. Kringle, though. Kringle is the bougier candle. It's the most expensive candle. I think Scentsy's candle pricing is probably going to be the same as Kringle, if not more. Probably not more, because they are probably going to want to get those people. And there are a lot of like younger generations that are getting the Kringle candle and like Goose Creek and stuff like that. So I think the pricing is going to be closer to Kringle, in my opinion. And because they have to make a profit, right? And they're probably going to put like all their eggs in the candle basket and say, okay, we're running with this. And we're just going to just go with it, right? We'll just ride the ride, see what happens. Am I mad? No, I'm just utterly perplexed on why they needed to do this. Like, I get the reasoning. I have my hypothesis of why I think they're doing it and how I think it's going to turn out. But I think they could have revamped something else within their thing to make things better at Scentsy. That's just my opinion. All right, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and it's probably the most controversial, and it's probably the one that hits home a lot to customers and consultants alike, and I just don't... This is the one that eats at me the most. Out of everything that happened during SFR, yes, I'm heartbroken with some of the scents that they retired. Doesn't make sense. Some of the ones that I put in the catalog, why? Don't know. But this right here, this big thing that I'm going to talk about right now, is the one that I'm most mad about. And I'm mad for my customers, and I'm mad for other consultants that it's going to affect. So they finally, after months and months and months of speculation, months and months and months of asking Orville and Heidi and Dan on the lives, will tariffs affect pricing? Will tariffs affect? And they kept saying no. That's not what's projected right now. We don't know. We'll know more in the future. Yada, 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 yada. They finally dropped it. And they did it sneaky, which is another reason why I'm so mad about it. Dropped a huge article. For Canada and Mexico customers, which is the other two countries that are in Region 1 for Scentsy, you will be getting a 10% increase on pricing throughout the board because of the tariffs and because of PEG rates and all this other stuff. So that equates to like 50 cents a bar. So regular bars are going to be like $8.50 Canadian. There's a whole grid, and I'll try to like, I don't know if I can link the news article to the description box, but if you're a consultant, you can see it. And if you're not a consultant and you're a customer, just ask your consultant for the breakdown. There is like a breakdown pricing for both countries and how it affects different things. So I know from memory and looking at it that it's 50 cents higher for the bars. I don't know how it will affect license though. I'm assuming license will go up as well, but I'm not sure if it's 50 cents or if it's more. And then warmers, it looked like in the grid, it said, like, if the warmer's $66 Canadian now, after September 1st, it's going to be $73 Canadian. And then shipping's going up from, like, shipping's going up to, like, $18, $16 in club. So I feel for you guys, because it's really going to make Canadian consultants and customers and Mexico consultants and customers really think about their purchases and how they're going to purchase Scentsy. Because I'm sorry, if I had to pay $18 Canadian just to get a 6-pack of wax, I would tell you to pound sand. I truly would. I squaw at the $14 price point for Teddy B's shipping. And that makes me stop and consider my order every time. I can just imagine how it's going to be for you guys. And with the bars going up 50 cents, I'm just going to say Canada right now. If you need the Mexico information, like I said, ask your consultant. They can provide you the breakdown grid. Or if you are a consultant, you can check it out in your workstation. But for Canada, if you got $8.50 a bar, Canadian, and then $16 shipping, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to be either editing my club to bare bones or just canceling my club altogether. And then if I'm ordering, I'm probably not going to do as many orders. If I was a consultant, I would have to literally wait and do like once a month ordering or every other month ordering and then get all the stuff and group it together in this big bulk order just so I'm only paying that $18 price point one time. I really, really feel for you guys, and I hate that it's based on political stuff, and I hate that it took them so long to give you guys a definitive answer, because we've been asking for like 6 months now, and they just refused to answer it, and they've like dropped like little things. Like I remember one end of month live, they were talking about how shipping containers were stuck in the middle of the ocean, and it had all the fall and winter stuff and all this other stuff. So I hate that. I hate that for you guys, and it's definitely going to hurt a lot of people. And me being a border town resident, I understand what people are going through. I literally live on the Canadian border. I can see it from my window. My old office when I worked in the corporate thing, it overlooked the St. Croix River, so I can literally see into St. Stephen, New Brunswick. Like, I get it. And with the tariffs, we've even seen less people coming over here to shop. The Canadians used to come over to our town to get gas, milk, food, eggs, chicken, all kinds of stuff, because it was cheaper over here for them. But they're really minimizing like their purchasing because of the duty and the tariffs that they're having to pay on it. Let me just let you know how ridiculous it is, because if you think that, if it doesn't affect you because you don't know anybody Canadian or you don't live on a border town, this is how ridiculous it is. It was posted in our community group, and I actually know the person through another person, so I know this is a true thing. It's not just some story that they made up to post online. They came over here. They live in St. Stephen, and a lot of times even people that live here in my town, because St. Stephen has things that we don't have. They have Burger King. They have Tim Hortons. They have KFC. They have A&W restaurant. They even have a Toys R Us over there. So there's stuff over there that they have. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll hop over the border, get dinner, bring it back home. They do the same thing. There's a Chinese restaurant here. I absolutely hate it, but everyone around here loves it. So there was a Canadian couple that hopped over to the border, got takeout from our Chinese food place, and then brought it back home so that they could just get the Chinese food, bring it home, and eat it with their family for like a family night or whatever. They got charged $32 in tariffs to bring that over. $32, and they had already paid like 40 something American for the Chinese food, and then had to pay another $32 on top of that. That is ridiculous. So I understand the frustrations when it comes with pricing and when pricing changes happens. There's nothing that we can do. It doesn't matter how much we scream from the heavens. They're not going to take away the pricing. It is what it is. So I would highly suggest, if you have the funds and you want to stock up on some of your bars, do it now in August before the price change happens. And then, like I said, we can all share different tips and tricks on how to save money, how to bundle bars, stuff like that. We can talk about that on my channel and share tips and stuff that we're figuring out as it goes. But it's not going to stop. The price change is going to happen. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. But if it means that we order less Scentsy, then it means we order less Scentsy. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. I'll definitely be rethinking a lot of my stuff, but I'm not affected by it yet because as far as we know, the US isn't getting any price changes just yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not coming. And I'm kind of mad because I just opened the agreement the other month. I think I did it in June. That I opened it so I could start selling in Canada because it made sense where I live so close to the Canadian border that I was having people that were interested and they couldn't go on my website. The only way that they could order from me is if I ordered it myself and then we did like a meet and greet. But then you had to figure out the exchange rate and all that other stuff and it was just too much. So I figured, okay, let me just try it. It's an extra $7.50 a month to sell in that country, and I did get a few orders, but then now I'm like, okay, is it going to be even worth the $7.50 to keep that going if my Canadian customers are going to have to rethink their purchasing habits because of the price increase and the increase in shipping prices? She's doing cheer over here in the corner, so if you hear smacking and stuff, it's just her doing her moves. So yeah, so that's the last little big nugget that I wanted to talk about, but I'm kind of like, why do they gotta do it? But whatever. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, because I know you guys have thoughts about it, so definitely feel free to vent in the comment section, and we will definitely continue to talk about it. There is one small thing I wanted to mention in this video, because I just found out about it, and I already had filmed my walkthrough, so I didn't find this out until after I did that. So the small wash-a-whiff tubs are actually no longer going to be available. They're only going to bring them out in special LTOs. So the wash-a-whiffs in September will only be offered in the large tub size. So if you like or prefer to get the smaller tubs, then August will be the month to stock up, because they will be 10% off because of the transition sale, but it will be the last time to get them. So just keep that in mind when you're doing purchases this month. Small wash-a-whiffs will be completely gone from the catalog, from the website, September 1st, unless they're brought back in an LTO. All right, that is it for my thoughts on all the Scentsy changes in SFR that happened. Let me know in the comment section what you guys have been thinking, and we will continue the conversation. Thanks for always liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please do so you don't miss out on my next video, and we will talk to you later. Bye.